So one of the most influential books that I've ever read was called The Paradox of Choice, and that talks about how um, choices can cause one pain. Actually, having too many choices just makes one confused, and one feels that they always are picking the wrong choice, and therefore there's some suffering created by that process, which is called a paradox because in the United States where I live, more choices considered to be better, and freedom is supposed to be better. And I'm not advocating for lack of personal political freedom, but in terms of when the way one runs one's life, one might want to take these truths into account. That too many choices could lead to confusion. I noticed that I myself, when I'm working on too many projects, it creates an amount of tension and suffering because I keep switching back between all the projects and I can't focus on one thing. So that's something that I need to work on in my own life. And I wanted to tie this into the Buddhist teaching of discipline, which is when you decide to do something and you do it. And I think I'm learning a lot about discipline actually right now through this whole NoFap thing, because I've always seen discipline as something that I wanted more of in my life. I'd say I'd like the results of discipline. Like I'd like the results of working out every day. Regularly. I'd like the results of practicing what I'm interested in on a regular basis. I'd like the fruits of that practice. But the idea of discipline to me had always felt like it was some kind of torture, like some kind of self-torture. And that I was okay with as well. I was willing to do that, but it's hard for me to get engaged and for me to want to do that. And through this NoFap thing, I'm learning the tons of pleasure that I have in denying myself pleasure, which is a little paradoxical, I think, as well. It's a little bizarre. It's a very recent discovery for me. It's something I might have known intellectually, but it's not really something that I processed and was able to understand fully and completely until very recently. So I just wanted to say something about that. And I also wanted to, in other videos, I think I criticized the blue pill Buddhism of the West, at least the places that I have gone to. The sanghas that I've attended, and not all of them, but a lot of them, and how they focus mostly on compassion, which is wonderful. But they didn't focus so much on wisdom, nor on discipline. And I think obviously discipline is something very hard to sell to Americans. We have a lot of choices. We have a lot of religions. We don't have a firm commitment. People could just leave. So the sanghas have to be geared at least a little bit towards what the American consumer wants, and that's not going to be disciplined. They look at any advertisement and they basically, or even a Hollywood movie, and they basically promote lack of discipline as being some kind of virtue somehow, which it's not. That's a vice. They're promoting a vice as virtue. I'll get into that more later, how we're seeing in modern society so many vices promoted as virtues. But anyway, I just wanted to say that discipline is important. It means picking something, deciding to do something, and just sticking to that, and or deciding not to do something. And the pleasure in the discipline comes, one is from your success of doing better, and two is just seeing yourself being disciplined. I'm finding that to be an incredibly joyful thing. It's very depressing. In the past, I made promises to myself and I broke them, or call them a vow. And now I'm finding that the power of vows is very powerful when you keep it. And I encourage people to try that and to experiment with that.